We've been talking about the Mining Indaba on Open Exchange. Mining's most influential stakeholders and decision makers gather in Cape Town this week for the 19th Annual Mining Indaba. We cross now to Godfrey Mutizwa for more.
Thank you, David. Indeed, we are live in Cape Town at the 19th annual meeting of the Mining Indaba, where some of the CEOs of the biggest companies in the world in terms of mining are gathered. Now, there's a lot of people that are here discussing mining issues, including sustainable development. And if I can just quickly give you some figures, David, I can tell you that there are more than 7,500 professionals who are here, international and influential professionals indeed in the mining sector who are here at this conference from 100 countries. The bulk of them, of course, they are African, 45, and we've got 1,800 companies represented here. Now, as I said in my introductory remarks, one of the issues that's being discussed at this meeting is sustainable development, and I have got with me here Aidan Davy. He is the Deputy President of the International Council on Mining and Metals, and they work with companies to try and improve governance as well as policies that aid communities where they operate. Aidan, thank you for your time. Now, we talk about sustainable development at a very opportune time, particularly within the South African context, given the events that we have seen in the past few months going back into last year. Now, South Africa has gathered a name over the century of a mining country, and yet at the same time we are now seeing issues boiling over in terms of governance, in terms of sustainability, in terms of getting communities involved with the companies where they operate. When you talk to international investors, what are they saying about the situation in South Africa?
Godfrey, thank you for this opportunity to be here. You raise very pertinent questions about international investment in South Africa at a time when we are seeing very difficult events, very tragic events indeed, towards the back end of last year unfold. But I think that what needs to happen at this point is that investors need to take a look at the way in which South Africa over many decades has profited socially and economically from the development of its mining sector. There needs to be ongoing dialogue and conversation in South Africa about how they can continue to do so. And in order to do so, both the country, the host country and the host communities need to feel that they're indeed benefiting from the presence of mining.
So when they ask you difficult questions about whether they should be committing mining in South Africa or not, what are you telling them?
Well, two things. One, we're saying that it would be inappropriate for us as an organization, the International Council on Mining and Metals based in London, to comment on the tragic events that unfolded here in South Africa last year. However, stepping aside from the specifics of Marikana and the various other events in the wake of Marikana, what we are seeing is that this is a country which has an extraordinary endowment of mineral wealth. This is a country where mining has played a profoundly important role in the social and economic development of the country, and we believe it will continue to do so in future. But in order for it to do so, you need to get to a point of comfort both with government, crucially with government, but also with those host communities, that they can see benefits from mining taking place in their communities.
Now, you have 22 members that belong to your organization, and you work with them in terms of formulating policies and following the right kind of practices when you're dealing with communities. Is there a place on earth where it has been successfully managed in such a way that communities are benefiting, the mining companies are benefiting, the government of the day is benefiting?
I think there are many good examples that you can point to, but there is also a challenge for all companies, for all governments and for all communities. And that challenge is that when you look at mining, most of the larger benefits that flow from mining accrue at the national level. So in terms of foreign direct investment, in terms of export earnings, in terms of government revenues, the benefits from mining accrue at that national level. At the same time, some of the smaller benefits, if you like, accrue at the local level in terms of local employment, local procurement and social investment by the companies.
Should we swing then that equation so that perhaps more of the benefits accrue at the local level and the social community?
This is a great question, Godfrey. I think what you need to do is ensure that firstly you manage the potential detrimental effects of mining, socially, economically, environmentally, very successfully at the local level. That's the first thing. You've got to get that right. But then you've also got to try and ensure that some of those benefits that accrue at the national level flow down to the local level, because it's only through doing that that communities will get a sense of benefit as well as governments.
Yeah, I was going to ask you another question about then who initiates that debate and that step, but unfortunately our time has run out. Aidan, thanks very much indeed for joining us here for our first live crossing at the Mining Indaba 2013.